They suffer from in the Middle East and even America because I watch a YouTuber. I always watch him. I don't know if you know him. He's Bob Binney.
Yeah,
You've heard of him.
yeah,
Yeah, he works in bees and he's professional. He's been keeping bees. They suffer from pesticides and insecticides.
yeah. Well, see, this was a
Yeah,
problem the world over.
yeah.
As you know, in agriculture, unfortunately, they believe that chemicals are the best thing for everything.
Mhm.
To control weeds, to
Mhm.
control pests,
Mhm.
they use chemicals.
Okay.
And over the decades,
Mhm.
they suddenly realized why they had a problem with no pollinating insects
Mhm.
because of the use of pesticides.
Mhm.
Whereas now, because they are more aware,
Mhm.
there is more control over now the use of
In
pesticides.
Western Australia.
Well, Australia wide, but yes, West Australia especially, yes.
Okay. So you don't worry if you want to move your bees to a canola crop. You don't worry about someone neighboring here planting, for instance, cucumber, comes in and starts using pesticides.
Well, it's always a concern. It's something that you have to be mindful of.
Hmm.
And usually, I'm a believer that the bees tell you everything. If
Hmm.
you are managing your bees properly, you are observing the bees, you are knowing whether they are healthy, whether they are active, whether they're doing the things they should be doing,
Hmm.
whether the queen is laying properly, whether the population is increasing as it should be. And so that management tells you if something is occurring that in your hive that you go, that doesn't seem normal.
Hmm.
Then you start to look for the reasons why.
Hmm.
And one of the concerns is pesticides.
Pesticides. Yeah, because bees may visit some crops.
Well, even in suburbia where I operate, there's people that they don't understand. They use weed killers, they use pesticides for
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
And so you have to be mindful that myself, who's very organic, I don't do anything with chemicals
Hmm.
or don't treat anything. I'm
Hmm.
very organic, very natural,
Hmm.
but that means my neighbor may not be. He might spray everything. He might spray his trees, he might spray his weeds, he might spray for insects.
Hmm.
So I have to be mindful to always be observing what is happening
Hmm.
to know whether or not there's an issue with pesticides.
Hmm.
But fortunately, they are educating the public more and more now
Hmm.
to be concerned about the use of herbicides and pesticide chemicals.
I do understand. But it's not as maybe common or as widespread as other places maybe around the world.
No,
No.
there's in Australia we're very much, especially West Australia, we're very much about the clean and natural, and we have a reputation for all our produce, whether it be from meat
Mhm.
or grains
Mhm.
or fruits or vegetables,
Mhm.
to be very mindful that our produce is very pristine
Mhm.
and they don't like to have any growth hormones,
Mhm.
they don't like to have any chemicals,
Mhm.
pesticides,
Mhm.
or herbicide residues. In fact, because I'm registered with the agricultural department,
Mhm.
because I also am registered for livestock,
Mhm.
one of the things that they test you for is to make sure that you are aware, and they actually monitor and do testing to make sure that what you produce does not contain any artificial chemicals or
Mhm.
growth hormones or pesticides or anything that adulterates the clean, natural, organic
Mhm.
produce that you produce.
And this is you're comparing Western Australia to other states within Australia. Here is better in terms of.
Well, we have one of the highest, but Australia wide, it is a very big thing. Our
Mhm.
agriculture, whether it be from meat production or grain production
Mhm.
or fruits and vegetables,
Mhm.
it relies on our worldwide reputation for having the, the most natural, unaffected produce
Mhm.
of anywhere in the world.
Mhm.
And it's why we get a premium price for our produce, because people can rely on it, because the
Mhm.
government insists on it and they test for it all the time.
Mhm.
There's
Oh.
a problem at the moment with lumpy skin disease in cattle, where there's a problem all through Asia. But Australia is so strict and quarantine is so strict, they know we don't have lumpy skin disease. It doesn't affect humans, but it does affect animals, especially cattle. So we know that we are devoid of that disease, which is a mosquito-borne disease that affects the skin of the animals. But it's a viral thing. But we don't have it in Australia because they test for it all the time. Nothing that gets exported from this country is allowed to be exported if it has any contamination of any kind.
Okay, I do understand. One thing, one section, I don't have it